Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Codex, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Castlevania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1986, developed by Konami and published by Konami, and also there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. I never owned this game as a kid, but during my high school years I managed to beat it via emulation. During one of the lunch breaks, I managed to beat Dracula and was super happy about it. So the game starts you out outside of a castle gate, and you get inside, and you whip candles to get items, right? So you collect hearts, which is used for ammo for your sub-weapons, and you collect other things. You can find invisibility urns or a crucifix, which is like a screen nuke. And you collect money bags for higher score. And usually things are also hidden in walls, like wall meat, so you break up walls with like your whip, which also your whip can be upgraded into 3 stages. And your sub-weapons can also be upgraded from level 2 to level 3, and these are found inside of breakable walls as well. So the sub-weapons are knives, axes, crosses, and holy water. And as I said, those can be upgraded to do more damage, and you can throw more of them at the same time on screen. So the enemies of the first stage are bats and zombies that looks like more like ghouls to me, and cats, shadow panthers, and fishmen. So there's a part to this level where you need to go down into the basement, and you can skip this part altogether if you get knocked back by a bat. And speedrunners use this as a speedrunning tactic. So the boss of this level is a giant bat, and there's like a secret in the stairwell, so you can like hit a brick and it breaks and you get the level 2 upgrade. So for this boss I recommend to stand on the stairs and throw axes at him like the sub-weapon. And at the end of the stage you also have to pick up an orb for the stage to end. So the second level is a climb up a couple of stairs, and there's a secret right off the bat. You break a couple of walls and a crown show up for extra score. So at the top of the stairs you find platforming and the most annoying enemy of the game, the Medusa heads. So these heads are just flying in like wave patterns, like a tan curve. And you need to avoid them because if they hit you, they knock you back. And since it's a platforming stage or part of the level, if you fall back, you mostly fall to your death. So that's an annoying part. But there's also like a skippable part to this. If you place yourself and get knocked back, you can actually get to the higher platforming part of the stage, so you can skip a lot of BS, so to speak. And later in the level there are like these spike traps that fall down from the ceiling and get risen up again, so it's like a patient and timing thing. And there is also like dragon heads that stack on each other, like bone heads of dragons that spit fire, if that makes sense. And the boss of this stage is the actual Medusa. And just stand in the right corner and avoid her snakes and just spam that cross or whatever upgradable special weapon you have. And you also need to collect the orb at the end for the stage to end. And the next stage has one of my favorite tracks of all time in the Castlevania series called Wicked Child. And this stage is like a ruined castle, so there are staircases that lead to nowhere, there are annoying birds that attack you, I think they're ravens or crows, and then there are skeletons that throws bones at you from their own bodies. So what you do is you just scale the structure, get to the top, and you fight the 2 mummies. So all you need to do is stand on the platform to the left and duck and spam the whip. And that's one of the more easiest methods to beating this boss, I guess. So the next stage starts you out falling down a crypt or like a dungeon area full of human bones. And this level is like a water area. You need to ride some movable platforms and avoid bats and whatnot and mermen that jump out of the water. And then eventually you reach the surface and you try to avoid birds that drop hunchbacks on you, and these guys are really annoying. And the boss of this area is actually Frankenstein's monster controlled by a hunchback, and a good method to beating this boss is having the holy water, because if you spam the holy water, it has like the upgradable the upgradable 2 or 3 upgrade, whatever, you more or less stun the enemy and you can throw all the holy water you want on it. You just stun locks the boss. The next level is like a prison area with skeletons that throws bones at you. And you scale the level, and you also encounter these unbeatable skeletons which are red, so you can knock them down into piles of bones, but they eventually rise again. And you also encounter these axe throwing armors, which is a really pain in the butt. They throw like an overarch or an underarch. And combined with like reaching the top of this stage, there are the Medusa heads again and axe throwing armors, and it's like a long corridor. And if you manage to beat this like long area, death awaits you at the end, and it's like a cruel punishment because it's just cruel. But the boss, thankfully, is really simple. If you have the holy water upgraded, you can stun lock him, and that's that. So the next stage is Dracula's castle. It's like a ruined castle, but somehow also a clock tower, if that makes sense. So you scale the tower and you're supposed to battle Dracula, but before you do that, you need to stack up on ammunition, so in this case hearts, because he takes a lot of hits to take down, and he has two forms. So the first form is just him with a cape, so when he opened his cape, he spit out 3 like fireballs, and later in the series, this attack is called Hellfire, I think. So what you need to do is you need to jump exactly when he shoots. So you don't jump before, because then the projectiles will go slightly up and hit you. So he takes like a whole life bar and then he's down. And then he turns into like his final form, which is this bath monster creature. And this is where you need like the 3rd upgradable level of holy water to just stun lock him. Because if you don't have that upgrade, he just jumps all over the screen and he more or less takes you out right away. He hits like a truck, basically. And then you beat the game and the funny credits roll. So it's like this, as AVGN said, like Christopher B. And the composer actually calls herself like Mr. Banana or something in I don't know. But that's the end of the game, more or less. So gameplay. Traverse all the levels, beat all the bosses, and destroy Dracula in the end. Control. The D-pad moves your character around. The A button jumps. The B button whips. And up on the D-pad and B, use your sub-weapons like knives and axes. And you can only have one sub-weapon at a time, and if you pick up one, it replaces the other one. And the start button pauses. Graphics. The graphics actually convey like a ruined castleescape from the Gothic era, so they did a good job with that, with only like 8-bit graphics. Sound and music. Kinuya Yamashita and Sato Terashima worked on this soundtrack. So Kunio actually worked on Power Blade 1 and 2, and Sato Terashima's alias was in this game James Banana, which I thought was kind of funny, and it's a classic soundtrack, and there's been countless remasters of this game throughout the series, and good job. It has to start somewhere, right? And I really love the Wicked Child part of the game, the tracks. I love it to death. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. There are a lot of breakable walls in this game that will reveal goodies. Also ducking, standing, and walking into walls will reveal other goodies, which I'm like puzzled how they even thought of, like, well, just stand on this platform for a couple of seconds and you will spawn a treasure for the highest score. I also watched a couple of speedruns. One of them was made by Arcus. He did a speedrun of this game within 11 minutes and 38 seconds, which is crazy. He even has a technique where he can beat bosses with just one hit. I don't know how he does this, and I didn't really fully got it explained, but it's really amazing how people actually break down these games and, you know, just completing them as fast as possible. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, this is a classic game that spawned an amazing series that goes on even today. It even spawned an anime. The only thing I don't like about this game is the knockback, but that's more or less it. So this is like a must play, like one of the classics in my opinion. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.